Hello everybody, Alexander here, and today we're going to be playing a game called The First Descendant. It is made by a company called Nexon Games, and I want to just start by saying that this is probably one of the most well put together games that I've seen on launch in a long time. They did a very good job, and I'm going to try to cover some characters and gameplay today, okay? So I'm going to be covering a total of 3 Descendants, and I'm going to go over their passives and 4 abilities, as well as covering just a little bit of actual gameplay itself. Just a quick PSA, this is actually like the 3rd or 4th time I have attempted to record this video. There seems to be a weird bug going on with the defense missions in the game, where we will defend the point all the way up until, the desired wave or whatnot, and it will still result in a failed mission. And the game is in its beta, so I am expecting just things like that to happen. Something that will be fixed by launch, I'm sure. I'm just letting people know that if we seem to fail the defense mission for no reason, like the thing is at full HP or whatnot, that is what's happening. So we're going to open with Galay here, and I'm going to go to the Descendant screen and show her off.
Hold on a little longer. Your mom will save you no matter what.
Alright, Galay's passive is Thirst. Galay cannot have a shield or MP. Instead, when in non-frenzied state, decreases incoming damage that she receives. Enemies killed by Galay have a chance to drop life spheres. Upon acquiring a life sphere, recovers HP proportional to max HP and acquires Power of Life. Galay's first ability is Frenzied. Enters Rampage. In Rampage state, firearm attack and penetration is increased, but decreases incoming recovery. Second ability, Life Siphon. Deals damage to enemies within range while recovering HP. HP recovery increases with the number of enemies hit. The hit enemies are inflicted with additional effects depending on Galay's state. When in Frenzied state, damage increases, and increases even more if your HP is low. When in non-frenzied state, she gains Vigor for a certain period of time and decreases incoming damage. Vigor stacks according to the number of enemies hit, and if I remember correctly, Vigor is just health regeneration. Increased Sensory applies different effects depending on the state Galay is in. When in Frenzied state, applies Maximized Lethality, during which bullets are not consumed for a certain period of time, but movement speed decreases. When in non-frenzied state, applies Maximized Recovery, during which Galay recovers HP proportional to max HP at fixed intervals for a certain period of time. Galay's ultimate is Massacre. Switches the equipped weapon to Massacre. The bullets loaded into Massacre are affected by the amount of Power of Life possessed. Enemies hit by Massacre suffer damage and are inflicted with additional effects depending on Galay's state. When in Frenzied state, deals additional damage, or deals great damage if current HP is low. When in non-frenzied state, the enemies hit are inflicted with stun. Okay? So we're going to use her first, and we're going to go try and do a defense mission here, alright? Now, hopefully everything goes according to plan, and we are just going to roll with the punches here. Like I said, if the bug happens, it happens. But I kept scrapping the recordings because we kept failing, like, the defense missions. And I was like, what is going on? So I went back and I was, like, watching what was happening, and we'd get to the end of, like, the defense mission, and the objective would be at full health, and we would still fail. Not really sure what's going on with that. Now, real quick note is the game gives you this, like, grappling hook for mobility, and you can use it to do some really interesting things. You're looking for a red dot to show up, because that indicates that it actually is gonna, like, land and do its thing. Okay. You can use it to just kind of, like, zip line around and move real quick. Okay, quick trick with Galay here is you can use her 3 to give her the healing, so that when you enter your enraged state, you just kind of heal back the health it costs you to go into it. Okay, now just keep an eye on that defense objective. Okay, so... game. Shit. Took a second to load there, that was kind of crazy. But I expect stuff like that. The game is in its beta stage. Okay, so what is happening over here, and why are they being allowed to get that close? Goodness, alright. Nope, I just gotta watch both sides, that's all. So with defense objective missions, regardless of the game, it's usually better just to stay close to the defense objective anyway and kind of kill shit as it approaches. And just do your best to succeed. So, I am actually going to switch to my rocket launcher because I want to show you guys something. Oh, it's turret guy, okay. So he's going to just kind of set up camp over there, and that's fine. Is everything just going to get choke pointed off? Okay, so, for 5 seconds, I have rocket launcher ammo for free. See? And it's pretty cool. I don't know if it works as intended with the rocket launcher. There might be a bug with that, because it looked like it was spending ammo. But from what I understand, it is supposed to just make it so that your weapon does not consume ammo for those 5 seconds. I'm gonna need to go back and watch that. Clarify that it actually is supposed to be doing what it's, supposed to be doing. But again, the game is in its beta, so I just kind of expect little things that need to be adjusted and fixed. Okay. Now, another thing you can do is you could use this to, like, rapidly traverse to pick up loot and stuff. Like the stuff over here that I want. And because there's enemies here, I just death pulse and everything dies. Make sure you're picking up our green orbs. They fuel your abilities. Now, something Nexon Games did really well is they made it so that each character feels unique and, like, fun to play. And on that note, I have not picked up a single gun or used a single ability where I've, like, been dissatisfied with how it works. You know what I mean? Like, it's all pretty fluid and fun to use. Which, combat being fun in a game like this is really, really important, right? Because people are here for the combat, they're here for the abilities, they're here for the guns. Get them off of there, pick up all my green orbs. Kill the bomber guy. And you can see that I'm taking damage, but I'm okay with that because of the way Glade works. Just pick up the orb and keep moving. Because those green orbs, because they heal you for like a percentage of your max health, even if you're in like your enraged state, the healing is like substantial enough that it's pretty solid, just in terms of like what you're getting. Right? And the only thing about her is that because she doesn't have MP like a regular character, you do kind of have to keep moving and killing things to maintain like usage of your abilities. But because not all of her abilities cost the power of life bar, it's just her damaging ones, she can pull some like super cheeky stuff where she can, like, exit in rage state and then do this to heal back any dot damage she's been taking, and then go right back into her, like, frenzy state thing. Now, one of the reasons I like her a lot is that this frenzy state gives me a bunch of movement speed, right? And movement speed often gets overlooked by a lot of gamers as, like, something that can be really, really strong, right? If you're able to move really fast and kind of just get around the combat field pretty quickly, it makes it so that you can sort of just get from point A to point B really quickly. And that guy needed to die. He had like an immunity barrier. So those enemies that have that bubble on them, they're immune to all gunfire and abilities if you hit them from outside of the bubble. I like that Turret Boy put his turret down right there. I do not remember the character's name, so he is Turret Boy. And I like that he is using the enemy aggro. Like, that's because that's what you want to do, right? Because they're gonna they're gonna charge that defense objective no matter what, so it's in your best interest to use that to your advantage, right? Like, if you know they're just gonna bull rush it, you might as well abuse it, kind of thing. Let's see. Now I can exit in rage state, I can do this and re-enter it, and then just kind of heal through most damage being assigned to me. See, and then you just death pulse and keep moving. Keep an eye on the defense objectives, health as usual, and keep an eye on your allies as well. If you have a downed ally, do everything you can to grab them, right? Because you only get a certain number of deaths per mission, and a death doesn't count if they were rezzed by an ally. Jeez, my brain, like, for a second there just did not want to work. And I'm gonna leave that in. Yeah, I don't edit things. So, yeah, just make sure you're picking up your allies, focusing on your team, making sure you're paying attention to enemies. But the game's, like, combat is super fluid. It feels very good. Now, the gun you see me using here, it's essentially like an electric SMG that if you get, like, a precision kill with it, causes the enemy to explode into lightning. Now, what you saw me do right there is, I can zipline, like, into enemies, right? And one of the benefits to doing this is that you can make it so that, like, you zipline and then melee, which is super cool. It feels very fluid, it's really fun to use. It's very satisfying to just, like, judo kick something in the face after you, like, you know, fly over to it with your little grappling hook. Now, all the, like, positive stuff said, the melee system, I feel like, could be rewarded a little bit better. And this is just to the developers, like, if you're watching this. Something that might be fun to incorporate is, like, if I zipline to you and I melee you, I want, like, an additional reward for having done so, right? Maybe add, like, a mod that causes me to, like, explode into a shockwave or something if I do that properly. You know what I mean? Like, risk-reward sort of thing. Really reward me for, like, just getting up in an enemy's face. I don't know why I shot over there thinking that that was going to work. My brain saw a red health bar even though it was through a wall and was like, I shoot here now. Don't do that. Do not do what I just did and waste ammo on the wall. Do not do that. It is not, it is not conducive to the killing enemy process. Now, another thing is that you can, like, zipline like that, and then pull yourself over to the ground to, like, just maneuver really quickly through an area. That guy looked like he was about to give them the business, I'm not gonna lie. That shield dude looked like he was just out for blood. And they probably had it under control, it just looked bad, you know, it just looked like a situation that could easily turn bad, so I decided to go over there. As far as the community goes for this game, by the way, they all seem pretty cool. Like, I haven't run into any, like, toxic people. And please be cool to the communities that you're, you know, interacting with. Because if you're excellent to other people, odds are they'll be excellent to you. That is not a guarantee. It's just an observation I have had with my time gaming. So, usually speaking, if you're a cool guy, you won't have too many problems. That was cool. I liked that a lot. I like using it like one of those Attack on Titan zipline suit things. I think it's a lot of fun to use it that way. I don't know what those suits are called, I just like them. That bomb guy, yeah, he's gotta go. Because he's just gonna charge the objective and try to, like, nuke it. Come on, there we go. Sometimes you can get the death pulse off, like, mid-grapple. I don't know if you're supposed to be able to do that, but when it works, it's like awesome. Alright. Wave started. We are on wave 6 out of... You could stay for up to 21 waves. It gets progressively harder the longer you stay. Okay. Now we gotta keep an eye on the actual thing, because I would prefer we win. But if we don't, we don't. It's just how that's gonna be. This is the final recording attempt, irregardless of what happens. It's been sort of a maddening experience, I'm not going to lie. Trying to get, like, everything perfect. Because I don't like scripting things, you know what I mean? But this had to be structured to at least a certain degree, because I'm trying to, like, showcase characters and stuff. And getting good gameplay sometimes can be rough. Like, getting good gameplay can just sometimes be a little bit difficult to do because of just random things happening, or maybe the internet goes out, or just any number of things, really. And I try to bring satisfactory gaming to the table for you guys. Because I want you guys to know that, like, I don't want to just cover RPGs. Like, I'll cover any game that I feel is worth playing, right? But I will never put something on the channel that I think is a complete waste of time. I want you guys to know that, like, if you're coming here to watch stuff, that I fully endorse whatever it is I'm playing. And again, I'm, like, gonna note really quick, I am not sponsored by these guys, like, at all, right? I'm just, like, a small channel right now. Hopefully that can change soon, but can't do that without you guys. But it is very important that I clarify that, you know, not sponsored, just I really like the game, and I want it to do well. Alright. I got weird and buggy there for a second, and that's okay. That's how betas be sometimes. Slight delay between wave rotation. Trying to, like, keep an eye on enemies while keeping combat flowing. Yep, and then just roll Death Pulse and just keep moving. I don't see a lot of this character. I mean, I like her a lot, and like I said, she's my favorite character in the game that I've played so far, but I don't see her a lot. And I hope that everybody gives her a try after seeing me, like, kind of run around with her here. Roll over here, do that. There we go. Yeah, see, you can just kind of, like, get real cheeky with that AoE on that. It doesn't have, like, a super huge range, but it's big enough that you can do some, like, really cool shit with it. Come over here and help her out. And just kind of disappear back over here. Yep, because enemies are spawning. There we go. Perfect. Yep. Just up close and personal. That's the way that I like to play, which is why I favor her. Oh, we gotta go over here. Like I was saying, you want to try to make sure you're watching this, but thankfully our turret guy here is doing a really good job of just using that aggro to his advantage. I gotta say, like, I rolled some pretty good allies, and, you know, I appreciate that, because it makes things a lot easier. These guys are doing actually a great job. Now, I'm hoping that whatever the bug or whatever it is causing the, like, failures to happen, even if the thing is at, like, full HP does not happen, because I would like these fine people to get their rewards. I have to bounce, because I am showcasing 3 characters. And I just don't have the ability to switch during combat, so I will not. Waves cleaned. Interesting. It might be the kind of thing where you have to stay till wave 14. I'm not entirely sure. and that's okay. The mission success was not the important part. What was the important part was getting some gameplay in for this character. And it should just teleport me out, right? Yes. Alright. So now I have what's called a mastery rank up, and I'm actually going to show this to you guys really quickly since I just have it. So you can come to this terminal anytime you have a mastery rank up, and you can do this as many times as you want per day. Like, there is no timer on it. There's no limitation other than you needing the necessary experience through leveling equipment and descendants to have done so. It's actually a really cool cutscene. Awesome. It's pretty cool. Alright, so now we're going to switch our Descendant. And next we will be covering Ajax. This fine gentleman is the tank of all of the Descendants, the tankiest per se. His passive is called Event Horizon. When using the skill, acquires void energy. Depending on the amount of void energy possessed, gains singularity based on stage. Singularity decreases cooldown, and the effect is boosted based on stage. When void energy is at a maximum, enhance the skill and grants additional effects when using the enhanced skill. Void energy cannot be acquired when out of combat for a certain period of time. All void energy will be consumed. Okay. First ability, Orbit Barrier. Creates a barrier to the front. The barrier stats are based on Ajax's HP and defense. When void energy is at maximum, enhanced barrier. When hit by an enemy, the barrier will deal reflected damage proportional to the damage received and Ajax's defense to the enemy. Acquiring void energy after casting the barrier. So, the reason why I like Ajax here is because a lot of his abilities scale off his defense. Next ability is Void Charge. Kind of jumped the gun there. Jumps forward and deals damage on landing. This damage increases in proportion to Ajax's defense. Gives a stun to the damaged enemy, and an enemy affected by stun becomes unable to act if void energy is used when it is at maximum. The cooldown of this skill is immediately reset. When the skill ends, you acquire void energy. Third ability is Expulsion. Inflicts damage and knockback to enemies within range. When void energy is at a minimum, enhances Expulsion. When enhanced, increases base damage and range. When the skill is used, you gain void energy. Ajax's ultimate is Hypercube. Creates a dome-shaped barrier. The barrier stats are based on Ajax's HP and defense. When void energy is at maximum enhanced barrier, the enhanced barrier grants barrier enhancement to all allies within range, including yourself. Barrier enhancement increases firearm attack. When the skill ends, you acquire void energy. Now, something I want to note about... Give me a second here, the cursor's being a little weird. The void charge thing here is I have a mod on Ajax that is making it so that that void charge modifies it to deal damage proportional to my defense, right? If you do not have this on, I am fairly certain that that move just scales off your skill power rather than your defense. In fact, I can check right now by just removing it and clicking Save Changes and go back to Descendant and read this again. Yep. So it will just scale off of your ability power rather than your defense, unless you have the legendary mod equipped that I have, which is right here. Now, the reason I use that is because I build Ajax purely around defense and health, right? No actual ability strength at all. And I just wanted to showcase that really quickly. And yeah, no, we're going to get back into a defense mission here real quick, and I will show you guys some gameplay involving Ajax here. Okay, and we're just going to do the same one, right? It's not like a super hard mission or anything. It's literally just like showcasing abilities and gunplay and putting us in a situation where, you know, failure's not a super bad thing. And I mean, this isn't technically giving me any rewards that I, like, super need. It's just, like, stuff that I can break down, like the guns and stuff. So I don't care too much if I don't get, like, everything from it. Alright. Even as a tank, you can feel fairly mobile. Speaking on that point, though, is one thing I really like about Ajax here is he feels durable. You feel really, really hard to kill when you're playing him. Which is exactly what I want from a tank or like a bruiser. You know, I want to feel difficult to kill. And Ajax captures that nicely. He is just this absolute unit of a Descendant. And if you like playing tanks, you like being hard to kill, you like just being this wall of metal and death, then I would play Ajax. Ajax is your go-to. Okay. The nice thing here is I get to keep all my guns, right? Let's see. He's quite strong. And, as you could see probably by the level when I was using him, that's the wall, by the way. I like him quite a lot. Like, he's already level 40. And like I said, I've been playing for about 2 days. I've been doing a little bit of the story. Just been kind of experimenting with stuff, too, as I continue. But that hop is, like, so good. This is the ultimate right here. It puts you inside this, like, dome. But as you can see, I'm getting, like, outnumbered, and I just kind of don't care. Like, look at my armor. It's, like, ridiculous. I was, like, standing inside fire and everything. He is kind of nuts, because he is very good at just managing a situation where he's, you know, overrun. Provided you use his abilities correctly. So, whoa. Okay. Like I said, the game's got a couple of things that they're still working through, and that's okay. Okay. And now do note that I am playing this on the Xbox, and I am working on getting more content from Xbox produced. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna have to stand over here because enemies are trickling through that side and I can't have that. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence for the group, especially as the tank, right? So my job is to pick people up if they go down, it's to hold point, and Ajax here is pretty good at just like holding a position. It's going to be pretty hard to, like, force me off point. Okay, and that shockwave is actually pretty sizable off of that, which is impressive. I'm not 100% sure where my allies are. I think they've just left the game, which is fine. It's no big deal. I can manage this all by my lonesome. I just have to do it right. Okay. As you can see, I have a rocket launcher that's quite nice. Okay. It's just unfortunate that people left. Because I'm pretty sure the enemies scale to the number of players that we're playing. There are just so many dudes. I'm sorry, what? Have a second here. Alright, I ended up actually just resetting because the enemies were scaled to multiple people being there, so we're gonna give this one more run. And hopefully people actually play through the whole thing this time, and if they don't, we'll just move to the next Descendant, and that will just be unfortunate. Alright, he's fine, people. Let's hope I actually have all of the assistants this time. The other two might have just gotten kicked from the instance. That's been happening on and off with players. It is unfortunate, but it's been happening due to the beta. Okay. Now, Ajax here does not do a lot of damage, which is the other problem with him. It's very difficult for him to manage getting overrun that consistently. And that's alright. It happens. Like I said, just pause the recording and move forward. It's all good. Just reset, you know? Just didn't want to waste you guys' time with the loading screens. Do hope that we're not dealing with an AFK player. Okay, these guys are doing good so far. And I like active players. I like them a lot. Makes things a lot easier. Now, another interesting thing to note is that a lot of Ajax's abilities are like super team orientated. Right, so he's going to be focused on helping allies more than anything else. So if somebody goes down, you can use your like bubble to pick them up. You just drop it and grab them. Enemies can't really do much about you. A lot of your abilities scale as you saw off of like your health and defense, so it is just in your best interest to be a very tanky boy. Yeah, I don't know why they thought I was gonna let him get that close, but silly AI. I have a knockdown. Now, I like Ajax a lot, but the primary reason I don't play him unless I'm playing with friends is because I just prefer things that can kill a little bit faster. Right, with like both guns and abilities. But the trade-off to that is that you are squishier, right? You die faster. And I like that the game makes each of the characters feel very good at their job. Right, out of all the characters I've played, I don't think I've played a single one that just kind of like felt like they were bad at their job. Which is very, very important. Kill the exploder. These fine people are doing good. This is good. I appreciate that this is what is happening. I'm just going to hold point and let them handle what they're handling, and if anything slips by them, I will deal with it. Like, again, in my opinion, it's almost better for all of the squad to just sit on top of the defense objective and let the enemies charge. Because then everybody, in terms of enemies that you have to kill, is, like, grouped up. And there's just less total problems. You know, overall. I have not run into a character, by the way, for anybody who likes playing tanks, that is tankier than Ajax. Like, I have not seen a single character who's just, like, better at doing it than him. And for anybody who likes playing tanks, he is, again, one of the first characters you get to pick, like, off-rip. One of the first three. So, I advise giving him a go if being a tank is what you like doing. Okay. The ice lady, the cryomancer, she's pure damage, and the soldier, I think Lipic's his name, is the guy I'll be covering next. He is more like a jack of all trades kind of thing. Like, he's good at a little bit of everything. He was actually what I started the game with. As you can see, it's all just enemy management, and luckily the game did not, like, kick my allies this time, which is extremely helpful. Because like I said, poor Ajax here is not very good at fighting large swaths of enemies on repeat. And that's okay. He's a tank, he's not supposed to be good at everything. That's like the trade that is supposed to be made for being durable, right? Is like your overall damage is reduced. The bunny player has that under control. I think we have 2 bunnies and a Lipic, like, on our team. I think that's his name. I might have it wrong. The soldier, who, if he's played right, yeah, see that singularity grenade, isn't that cool? I'll be showing that to you guys here in a little bit. Alright, well, I am trying to get, like, pretty solid gameplay of each of the 3 of these, and it's just unfortunate that Ajax here kind of got shafted a little bit, which is why I'm trying to give him a little bit extra runtime here to be showcased. In terms of what he can do. I'm just really hoping that everything just runs smoothly. Because the unfortunate issue that I ran into poor Ajax here was earlier when I was trying to play him. I kept getting, like, booted from the game, and I'm not sure if it's an issue directly related to Ajax or just, like, the client itself. But if that does happen, I will be pausing the recording and, like, unpausing it when I have loaded back in and switched to Lipic. Right, I'm gonna get as much footage here as I can for Ajax, provided no unforeseen issues happen. Man, I'm really appreciating these allies. They're doing a fantastic job of just, like, murdering shit, and it is very helpful. I think I've stated already, but, like, you know, be positive, be cool to the community, and usually they'll be cool. Like, very rarely will they not, in most games. And, on the channel, I won't be covering games that have, like, especially bad communities, and if that community is, like, the kind of thing where, you know, it's a very active part of the game, then I just don't want any of that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm only gonna put stuff on the channel that I fully endorse, and I do try to make, like, gaming communities and spheres a lot better, you know? Try to be a positive guy. Try really hard to, be positive about a game that I'm playing as well. It's pretty rare that you guys will ever outright hear me just, you know, shit on a game. Oh, boy. That was interesting. It's all good, though. But, yeah, God. Ajax, you okay there, buddy? Goodness. That was interesting. I know that the Y ability was up, but it just, like, wasn't letting me use it. Alright, so after I get done with this run, I will be hitting pause and reloading the client, because it is acting kind of funny, and I don't want it to kick us while we're running the next rotation. My goodness. It runs pretty smoothly for a beta, though, I do gotta say. A lot of open betas that I've played in the last couple years did not run anywhere near as smoothly as this. And I really appreciate all the work that Nexon Games has put into this. I also gotta say, like, the character designs are fire for, like, all of them. Absolute, just masterwork stuff. Oh. And, like, I know people get weird about, like, you know, sometimes a character either looking, I don't know, a certain type of way, and I'm like, look, man, like, there are certain things that are just gonna sell, like, no matter what you do, right? So, like, they did a good job of, like, designing each of them to fit whatever it is they're doing. And I know that Nexon Games is, like, a Korean studio, and they have certain ways of designing things, and I really appreciate how all this is set up, you know what I mean? Like, just the visual appeal of it all. The game is freaking beautiful, and I really am hoping that this gets all the love it deserves for what it is, because it's pretty rare that we as gamers get handed something that, especially these days, that's just this well put together, like, out of the gate. And like I said, as a beta, this thing is outperforming games that, like, I paid money for. So, like, as a free-to-play looter shooter that's performing this well in beta, and I know that it's gonna keep getting worked on because the company just has a really good track record, I'm very excited to see the future of this game, and I will likely be covering a fair bit of it on the channel if you guys want me to. Like, I know I'm gonna play it a lot, but if people want to see more of the game, like, they gotta comment on this video. You know what I mean? Like, I'll keep covering stuff on it. Like, for this recording, I'm explicitly leaving, like, story and stuff out of things, because I don't want any of that spoiled for anybody before they play the game, right? I want them to go into it and be able to just kind of experience the story as is presented to them. Awesome. Now, Ajax here is, as you just saw, very good in, like, tight areas. He's pretty solid at just holding a point. I'm actually pretty pleased with the fact that, we've made it to Wave 6. I was worried that it was gonna, like, either crash or kick me or something. Oh, I overshot that hard. Jeez. Yeah, be careful with this jump, because it's really easy to, like, accidentally overshoot off of, like, a tree or something like you just watched me do. And I'm not editing that out. There will be no editing. The closest thing you get to that is me having to, like, pause the recording to deal with something unfortunate. Oh, leaving all the, like, little mistakes and errors in, because if you see the mistake, or you see that it's, like, possible that it can happen, you know to, like, be careful not to do it, sort of thing. Kill the exploder, do not let him charge the thing, and just, like, leap at this one unfortunate dude. I was kind of hoping the shockwave would go far enough, but that's the whole point of, like, experimenting with things, really. Grabbing my friend, my ally, my homie. Back on your feet there, bunny. We got this. Kill him. Had to just adjust the aim there. For whatever reason, the bullets were not wanting to hit. And I might have just been off by a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, as the tank, you want to make sure you're helping people, because that is kind of your job. Now, the immunity bubbles, for whatever reason, don't seem to safeguard them from the shockwave damage from that jump, which I am okay with. I am perfectly fine with that not being a thing. I like that it doesn't just, like, stop me from entering. I love how durable he is. No, I do have like an okay amount of mobs on him and stuff. Obviously, they're making him a little bit more intense than he would otherwise be. Gosh. Just manhandled him. God. Oh, to be fair, this is like a relatively beginning defense mission. I just wanted something where I didn't have to focus super hard on like the actual gameplay itself. I could kind of just showcase everything about the character to the best of my abilities. Like I said, I'm not a professional. I'm just a guy with a YouTube channel, man. Trying to build a real beautiful community of people. Alright, fine. Don't land grappling hook. I'll just leap at you. Alrighty. And now we move to the next character. Yeah, so it seems like it's gonna read mission failed unless you stay till wave 14, or that's a bug and not intentional. I'm not 100% sure. I'll look into the logistics of it later. It's not real important right now. What is important is that you guys are getting gameplay of at least 3 of the Descendants, and my thoughts and opinions on the game. One change I would like to see, real quick, is that this grappling hook I'm using, I want lighter characters like assassins to have more charges of that, right? I want them, because it would just make sense for them to be able to like use it more, or for it to like maybe recharge faster on them or something. Just, you know, a thought, something they could do. All right. Alright everybody, we are here with Lepik after I have reloaded the game. And Lepik here is one of the characters you can pick at the very start of the game. He is effectively a soldier. Lepik's passive is Close Call. Upon receiving fatal damage, gains Close Call. While Close Call is active, becomes immune to damage and crowd control for a certain period of time. When Close Call ends, recovers HP proportional to selves max HP. This effect is not affected by incoming recovery or outgoing recovery. Alrighty. Grenade. Simple and straightforward. You throw a grenade that deals damage. Overclock. Gains overclock for a certain period of time. Overclock increases skill power modifier and inflicts burn on enemies damaged by grenade or overkill. Burn deals continuous damage for a certain period of time. Traction Grenade. Throws a traction grenade forward to pull enemies to a point for a certain period of time. Overkill. Switches the equipped weapon to Overkill. While Overkill is active, MP is continuously consumed. When MP runs out, it turns the original weapon back to Overkill. Enemies hit by Overkill bullets receive AoE damage. Overkill bullets create an area of effect at the point of impact, dealing damage over time. Okay. Now we're gonna click use on him, alright? Now I want to show you guys something really quick with him. And this is my skin for him. Pretty cool, right? While I was reloading this, I did actually fill out the beta survey for the game. And I strongly advise everybody do this, because they do ask you for your honest input on the game. So the more people that do this, the more likely it is that anything that needs to be changed with the game, such as quality of life things and such, does get fixed, okay? And you do get a couple of rewards for having participated, and from my understanding, you get to keep all of your cosmetics. I might be wrong. Do not quote me on that. I'm not sure if they're going to reset your character level when the game actually does come out. I'm not sure what all you do get to keep, but please do participate in the beta and fill out the survey. It is very, very, very important that this is done. Okay? So on my Descendant modules, I have a legendary Transcendent module thing for him as well called Regenerative Braking. It removes close calls effect from my passive. When using a skill, I have a chance to recover MP instead. And the reason why I do this is because I do not find myself going down to lethal damage all that often. So for me, it is just better to be constantly regenerating MP. Or have a chance at doing so, alright? So we're going to do one more defense run here, and we're going to get a little bit of gameplay for this fine gentleman. Alrighty. I did, by the way, during that, beta process, make sure I filled out for them, like, hey, your defense missions are having some weird bugs going on with them, you know, players getting kicked and whatnot. It is affecting gameplay a little bit, so maybe let's get that improved upon, you know? Something I posted that I also think that everybody else should do is, at least make it known to them if you want quality of life stuff done. Like, I feel like crouching should be a thing, and I also feel, like, so this roll, like, if I'm standing completely still, maybe make that into a crouch. As well as give me the ability to hide behind cover and stuff, because currently that's not a thing, and I feel like it should be. Oh boy. I am experiencing a little bit of latency problems, and it's either the internet or it is the game itself. I'm not 100% sure, and that's perfectly fine. Man, they're handling business over there. Man, look at this bunny player go. Goddamn. Goddamn. I am really hoping that the people who participated in the beta are heavily rewarded for having done so. And if the developers are watching this, something I would advise you do is, and because this is really important to a lot of myself and a lot of the people I play games with, is we want to keep our cosmetics. Like, anything we unlocked during this beta, let us keep it. Right, if we spent that, like, resource or whatever that you gave us to unlock something, please let it be in our inventory upon us reloading the game. Okay. That is super important to us. Oh, I thought he was gonna make it further than he did, my bad. My allies are doing a really good job of killing stuff, and I just don't really need to worry about a whole lot, and I am okay with that. Like, it is kind of getting in the way of showcasing gunfire and stuff, but that's okay. As this continues, we'll get more enemies and stuff, and it will be fine. Let's see here. Let's just throw that over there. Yeah, they're doing a real good job. Nice. But yeah, as you can see, I really like this skin, and I'm really hoping I get to keep it. The character designs and stuff for all of the skins, and I do mean all of them, are really good. Like, I haven't really seen anything where I'm, like, not vibing with it, you know? Yeah, I keep forgetting that she can just kind of, like, run through them like that and kill everything, and it is hilarious to watch it happen. If you like a really highly mobile playstyle, I would strongly advise playing Bunny. She seems to be a community favorite, which I can see why. Alright, as you just saw right there, the Singularity Grenade is really, really good for just kind of grouping up a bunch of enemies and killing them with your actual grenade. Okay, so the combo is essentially like, you use your Singularity Grenade, you use your Overcharge, then you throw your actual grenade. Another thing you can do is you can use Overcharge right before you ult, like with your arm cannon thing, to increase the amount of total damage that your ultimate is doing. Right, now I'll showcase that as soon as I've got a bunch of enemies to like shoot it at. 39, alright. Cool, I almost have 3 of these Descendants to level 40, which is... Oh, well that's unfortunate. That's okay though. My abilities recharge fairly quickly. That is actually something I really enjoy about this character, is that his abilities are not on like a ridiculously long cooldown. And if the developers are watching, something I really appreciate that you did with this gentleman is a lot of his kit does feel very smooth. I mean, all of your characters do, but for him being a starting character and him being like as good as he is, I really value that. I like that all of the Descendants are pretty good. You know, regardless of who you happen to be playing. And then once I'm done with this, I'll show you guys one of my other favorite Descendants, and if you guys want me to cover her in like a gameplay video for just her, then I will, but for right now, I'm just gonna cover the 3 that I chose for today, because they each fit a different playstyle pretty effectively, right? Because, Glay is like, you know, she's damage mostly. Like, she can be tanky if she wants to be, but she's mostly damage. And then Ajax is super tank, and then you've got, I think Lipic's his name, this guy here, where he's a jack of all trades, right? He's good at just about everything. He's really utility heavy, which I like about him. And he can hold a point pretty well, like, don't get me wrong. And his passive call, where like the close call thing triggering, that is very good, right? But I, more often than not, don't find myself needing it. So I don't have, come on man. Man, I was having issues with the aim sensitivity right there, gosh. Now look at her go. She's like killing everything over here, it's great. It's really nice to not have to worry about like half of the map. Doing a fantastic job there, Bunny. Gotta say. Now, do note, sometimes you'll roll like new players or whatever, so just try to be cool to everybody, you know, help as much as you can. And sometimes you get lucky like I am right here, where everybody just has like a bunch of AoE. So it's just kind of a free victory, and I'm not complaining about that. Alright. She's got that under control, it looks like. Everything over here dying. I like that my 3 allies are literally just 2 bunnies and like the water girl, so it's literally just a metric ass ton of AoE. Which is awesome. For those of you who may not know, AoE is area of effect damage. I know I probably don't need to explain that, but I have actually been asked what that means before, so, you know, just gonna put that out there. Like, sometimes I'll use terms that people just may not know what they mean. I don't know. I don't know. I've been asked about it before, so figured I'd kind of give that quick PSA on that. Okay, so I would like to know how those got past 2 AoE characters. That is interesting. Maybe they like spawned in behind her or something, I don't know. It's all good. It's all good. I was just curious. Not sure how it happened. Like I said, they probably just spawned in behind her. Something I actually forgot to put on there was maybe increase the grappling hook range, or give me a way to increase it. Yeah, devs, if you're watching, sometimes this grappling hook, it doesn't quite, like, reach far enough to do some of the more, like, interesting things I would like to do with it. And I understand, like, why it has the range that it does, and I'm not saying its range is bad, right? It's just, sometimes the targeting on it's a little weird. Like, it works really well for what it is, and I'm glad that I have it. It's just, something that could be improved upon, you know? Kind of whipped the grenade right there. What matters is that the singularity mine pulled him. You guys can probably tell, but I kind of stopped playing this guy after I unlocked Glay. Like, yeah, he's almost max level, but that's because, like, I've been trying to record this video for, like, 3 hours. And it has resulted in me just kind of accruing a lot of XP vis-a-vis the whole, like, disconnects happening, or just the internet being a general piece of garbage sometimes. Well, that was kind of a gross combo. Just singularity pulled all of them into the lightning and they were just sad. It's beautiful. I really do like how a lot of the Descendants can be paired together to do some just hilariously gross stuff to the enemies. And the game, by the way, is very fun to like play with people, which I really like. And I'm not like a big multiplayer dude, right? I usually like to just run alone, but this game did a really good job of making me like want to play with other players. Just because of like how the Descendants' abilities work with each other. You know, I didn't need to do that, and I apologize, Bunny. You had that fully under control. Go ahead and spawn the exploder, I knew you were gonna do it. I need to, like, I think turn the sensitivity down is the problem here. I have it up kind of high, and it is actually affecting aiming. I'll mess with it later. I tend to tinker with settings until I have them, like, just right. But right now, this is what this is going to be. Because I've been trying to get this out for you guys, and I'm just going to have to deal with the fact that the unfortunate reality is because stuff's in beta, there's just no such thing as me getting this perfect. So, that singularity grenade is usually a lot more impressive, but my AoE people are just amazingly on their shit, and it's awesome. Very helpful, honestly. And I understand why people play those characters, is because it's just like, oh, well, it's just like a bunch of damage in a large area, so I usually never even need to fire my gun. I was hoping that I was gonna time it with, like, their actual spawn. That's alright, though. I'm kind of just messing around at this point, to be completely honest, because they fully have this under control, and they, like, really don't need me to do much of anything. God, that ability is crazy. I'm gonna have to read her later and, like, see exactly how that works. One of my friends was telling me that she's kind of nuts. There we go. The delay was real right there, dang. What matters is that it technically worked. Oh! Oh, they fixed it. Is it fixed? Did they realize it was a problem and just fix it? Was my concern during the actual, like, review process unwarranted? She just kills them so fast, and it's great. I have to start playing Bunny, who knows? Like, I understand why the soldier guy here doesn't get played as much, right? Because he has, like, less AoE, technically speaking. but I just wanted to cover him because he was one of like the beginning characters and I happened to have him unlocked. I do not have the Ice Mage, which was the reason that she was not covered in this video. I forgot to unlock her with the points that I had because I saw a character who uses like poison to kill a bunch of stuff, and I unlocked her instead, not actively thinking about what I was doing. Oh man, they killed him hella quick. God damn. Alright, good job guys. Like, jeez. Clearly not fucking around, and I really appreciate that. Oh, the reason why this is active for so long, by the way, is because of the legendary passive thing I have on me, where when I use an ability, I constantly regenerate MP. And it's not like a guarantee kind of thing. I don't know why I keep doing that. She's just gonna keep killing everything. But I'm leaving it in because I'm having fun. And that's what matters. Awesome. I would stay longer, but like I said, I was just going to showcase the 3 characters, and that was going to be the video. My goodness, is it really that long of a recording? It's crazy. Alright, well. Man, time flies when you're having fun, I'll tell you. Alright. Now, that's where this is going to end. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed your time here today. Please remember to hit that notification bell and tell your friends. We're trying to build a beautiful community here, and we can't do it without you guys. Alexander, signing out.